My husband, 35, and I, female 30, have been married for the past 10 years, and we have 5 amazing daughters together. Because of that, I dropped out of college to be a stay-at-home mom for the past 10 years when we had our oldest daughter. My husband is the breadwinner and I take care of all the chores and childcare. While my husband earns quite a bit of money, allowing us to live comfortably, he is also obsessed with budgeting. Thus, I typically only have enough for household expenses. For the past 5 years, I've been working on a series of books. I've been writing everywhere I could. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and while I sacrificed a lot of sleep, I have managed to finish my series, unbeknown to my husband. I kept it a secret because he always considered it a waste of time. It was tough, but I got an agent and was incredibly lucky to get a deal to publish my series. I was ecstatic, and when they told me how big my advance would be, I almost fainted. It's much more than I expected for a first-time deal. It's in higher 5 digits. I haven't told my husband yet, and I had to borrow money from my sister to get an accountant. Ideally, I want that money saved up should something happen because I honestly don't know the details of our home finances or our kids' future. Whatever will be needed, plus I would love to have some spending money without asking my husband, Greg. However, Greg found my contract, and he's now demanding I get him a new car for Christmas. A very expensive new car which would cost the majority of my advance. I politely refused, saying that he didn't need a car that expensive and that money was supposed to be saved up. I tried to explain my position, but he wouldn't have it. He basically called me an idiot without actually using the word. He said that because he supported me all these years, I owe him, and without him and his money, I wouldn't be where I am now. He's told me that either I buy him a car or I have to start paying for household expenses half and half. The thing is, I would still be an at-home mom. I don't know if my book will succeed. For all I know, this will be the only money I will ever get from my book deal because it'll flop. Am I the idiot for not wanting to buy my husband a car, even though I have the money? Holy crap, probably the most solid, not the idiot I've ever given here. Good God. Your husband is not only the idiot in this instance, but I'm also getting major general idiot vibes. If your family's household finances are separate, he had zero right to demand you foot the bill for a huge, non-essential purchase. However, if your finances are considered by both of you to be pooled, I question why he only allows you the bare minimum to cover household essentials. Even putting aside the 10-gallon bucket of marinara that is him demanding a frigging thing from the money you earn doing something he crapped in your Cheerios about in the first place, I have a massive concern as to why you don't know anything about your family's finances. It's not uncommon for one person to be the designated money manager in the relationship, but that does not negate your right and responsibility to know what the heck is going on with any and all accounts for your family. He is an entitled brat at best and perpetrating financial abuse at worst, and my money is on the latter. And yet he seems to have forgotten that you also supported him in raising his kids, taking care of your house, probably cooking, cleaning. You owe him nothing. Please don't surrender to his mental game. Tote up 10 years of a personal chef, maid, nanny to 5 kids and household manager. Pretty damn sure it would equate to more than his salary. He is being manipulative beyond words, so I hope you not only don't give in to his demands but also stand up and take no more of this kind of crap from him. Yes, who really wanted all these kids so close together? Not just 5 kids, but 5 daughters. I believe somebody wants a boy. I can only imagine how differently his daughters will be treated from his long-awaited son if he happens to have one. OP, hold your horses because that advance ain't all yours. High 5 figures might seem great, but you have a lot of money that will have to come out of that advance. Agents get 15%, the government gets a percentage from taxes, and guess what? You're self-employed, so now you get to pay Medicare and Social Security all by yourself. Only about 45% of any advances goes to the author. Best of luck to you. I, 21 female, had my sister 18 over for the past 3 days as she was fully renovating her apartment that she got for her 18th 3 weeks ago and couldn't stand being there while it was being renovated. It was to last for 6 days and she said she would be out most of the time for school or with friends. She doesn't want to go to our parents' home as she can't stand any more interventions from our father as she was not supposed to move in until school finishes, though she played the I'm 18 card. I allowed her to stay for this short period, and it wouldn't be inconvenient as we all live less than 2 miles away. My boyfriend, 22, and I live together and he adores my sister, even though she is, according to him, a bad influence. I have to attend classes most of my days, so I'm not here from the morning till the afternoon or evening. My boyfriend is doing an internship right now, so he's not always at home, but he is there more than me. For most of her life, my sister would always walk out of the shower and wouldn't care about who would see her naked. One of our bathrooms that she conveniently uses is in our bedroom. You have to go into our room and walk past it to the bathroom. My boyfriend finishes early on Mondays, and my sister comes home earlier than expected. I usually head home quickly as we want to spend our free time together. Though my sister had other plans. According to my boyfriend, she went straight into our shower as soon as she came home. While he was lying down on our bed, she was crying loudly in the shower and proceeded to walk out of the shower, no robe or towel, and back in as she forgot something 3 times. After finding this out, I proceeded to terminate her stay. She called me unreasonable and an insecure freak. My parents also put me at fault for making her break down as she returned to our parents' house. My boyfriend has informed me that I overreacted and he just wanted me to tell her to stop doing that as it was bizarre. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, your house, your rules. Do you buy the whole breakdown thing? Also, why is she using your ensuite bathroom, not the guest one, and causing drama? Was she really crying in the shower, or was it all a ruse to get your boyfriend to comfort her? She didn't get the reaction she wanted the first walkthrough, so she did it repeatedly, hoping to get the attention she wanted. Then, if OP walks in while he's comforting her, she can play the victim and say boyfriend was trying to take advantage of her. Like the saying, once is an accident, 2 is a coincidence, and 3 is a pattern. It is possible, but it feels more like an I am 18 and hotter than my sister and I want to see that. The whole story gives sister giving off pick me vibes. Also, he could have just told her to use the guest bathroom as soon as she came in, wanting to use theirs. OP, ask your boyfriend how he would feel if his brother or friend did that. Would he be okay with that? Would that be considered an overreaction? Clearly, your sister wanted to flirt or try to get a reaction from your boyfriend, but she didn't expect to get thrown out into the streets, lol, and I'm sure your parents are mad because they raised a loose woman who tried to flirt with her sister's boyfriend and are now stuck with her again at the house. My teen female dad is a piece of crap. I'm sorry, but he just is. He isn't all that terrible to me or my brother, nearly adult, but he's horrible to our mom. Growing up, it was very obvious that our dad saw our mom as lesser than. He'd yell at her over everything and make her responsible for everything. Cleaning, taking care of us, etc. My mom never said anything and tried her hardest to make it seem like everything was okay. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I'm too scared to stand up to my dad. I always freeze. My brother, on the other hand, doesn't give a crap. He yells back and isn't afraid of anything. I think my brother realized that I'm too scared to protect our mom and recently told us that he's going to a college nearby and will be commuting as the college doesn't require first years to live on campus. My parents were confused, and my dad was a little upset. He kept telling him that he would miss out and regret it, but my brother didn't budge. Mom even told him that he should go and that she would be fine, but my brother said they're lucky he's even going to college. Well, yesterday we got a surprise visit from our grandma, Dad's mom. She never visits, and when she does, she treats my mom like crap too, so we weren't very excited. But we were civil because, well, if we aren't, she'll find a way to blame our mom. It was okay at first, but then she asked my mom, "Is this what you wanted? Are you proud of yourself?" My mom started to shake, but my brother immediately got in between them. Grandma just rolled her eyes and asked my brother if he was going to throw away his life just because he thought his mom's too fragile to survive without him. My brother didn't say anything. I then spoke up and said, "It's not because of Mom, it's because of you and Dad. You guys are horrible and you really need to get the heck out." My grandma immediately started yelling at me. She said she expected better and said I was rude, disrespectful and bratty. She then told my mom that she'd raised horrible kids before leaving angrily. I know I was just standing up for my mom, and my brother keeps telling me I'm fine, but I feel guilty. According to my dad, my grandma apparently adores me and I broke her heart. And it's not like I made things better, maybe even worse. My dad's expecting me to apologize, but I don't know. I don't want to. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your dad is just manipulating you by saying you broke her heart. Doesn't sound like she has one to break anyway. OP's mom raised good kids. Grandma raised a brat, but she's a damn brat too. Yeah, seems like the father inherited that lack of heart as well. For real. My grandma apparently adores me according to my dad. Really? Because she just called you rude, disrespectful and bratty and said you were a horrible kid. I know it's awful to finally see her for who she truly is, but she only liked you because you didn't stand up to her or your dad and let them walk all over you. The moment you spoke up against them, they both turned on you. That's what abusers do. Exactly. I'm 34 and I've had a grandma who adores me all my life. She's 94 now. You know what a grandma who adores you does? Gives cookies and money when your parents aren't watching, tells embarrassing stories about your parents and plays games with you. Have you spoken to a trusted adult or therapist about some things happening at home? Neither you nor your brother should feel like it's your job to protect your mother. I've been with the company for 6 years now. We are very informal with each other and have a fairly laid-back culture. The company president is Dave and my boss is Lou. I tell employees who call me Mr. Smith, fake name, that my name is Dennis and that there's no need for formality. We recently hired a new employee. The fake name I will give her for this post is Ginny Potter. In coming on board with us, Ginny signed all her emails to Miss Potter. When she answers the phone, it's, "Good afternoon, this is Miss Potter speaking." And when she calls me, it's, "Good morning, Dennis, this is Miss Potter." And my response is always, "Good morning, Ginny, how can I help you?" If I send an email to Ginny, the response is signed by Miss Potter. Emphasis, hers. She's 3 levels below me in a different line of reporting in terms of the company hierarchy. So her supervisor's boss reports to someone on the same level as me, if that makes sense. It got back to me that she thinks I'm disrespectful for not calling her Miss Potter when I speak to her. When I spoke to others about it, most stated that they just ignore it, don't use a name to address her, respond to her queries, and let her call herself what she wants. My boss thinks it's idiotic and that she's not at any level within the company to demand that. When I told my wife, she replied that it was obviously a button for this woman and that I was being an idiot for antagonizing her. My counterpoint to this is that nobody in the company gets addressed formally, and if I don't call my boss or his boss by anything but their first names, I'm not going to formally address another employee several layers down the hierarchy. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. She's being very polite about how she wants to be addressed. You're crapping all over it. She wants to be called Miss, call her Miss. Your position doesn't excuse this behavior. In fact, it makes it worse. She is not below you, you are not above her, you're both human beings. She's not being that polite by demanding she's addressed with an honorific when no one else is. She's demanding to be addressed with more respect than anyone else at the company. Asking someone to refer to you as Mr. or Miss when everyone is on a first-name basis is the same as asking someone to call you Sir or Ma'am. So yeah, his position is relevant because she's asking him to verbally refer to her as his superior when he speaks to her, even though she's dramatically inferior to him at the company. Disagree. It's about boundaries, not hierarchy. Maybe she likes to keep it formal so she can draw a line between private affairs and work-related stuff, or she simply isn't comfortable being called by her first name. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. OP, don't you have more important things to tend to other than gossiping about co-workers and being a blabbermouth? Honestly, you sound exhausting to be around. He's insufferable, clearly. OP, you are minimizing a grown woman. Who cares what her position is? Her name is Miss Potter. You don't know her personally. She has not given you permission to call her by her first name. Agree or not, it's disrespectful. She's given you respect. Why won't you reciprocate? So is she, to be honest. Arriving in a new workplace and demanding things that are pretty out of the ordinary and unnecessary is also insufferable. Sure, it takes no effort for him to just call her Miss Potter, but it also takes no effort for her to just drop it. I, 21 female, am a babysitter for a family. I've been their babysitter since March. They're a great family, treat me well and pay me well. I wrote down a list of days I couldn't work the entire year and for however long they needed me. The days are my birthday, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and November the 16th. They said that these days are fine and they can get someone to stand in for those days. Well, on Sunday, they messaged me asking if I could babysit their 3 kids, male tween, young male tween, and female toddler on Christmas Day from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. I asked if they were joking and they said no. They said every other person they've asked has also said no, to which I replied, well, they would because it's Christmas Day. They began to beg and said that they'd offer me $50 more than they would any other day. Again, I responded no. I've strictly given them the days I want off so I can spend time with friends and family, and Christmas is the only day my family can get together and spend time with each other. Not only that, but the family would want me to look after their kids in the same house they'll be in, and they'll be in the other room and they don't want the children to distract them. My parents told me I've done the right thing, but other people are telling me I don't know how it feels to have kids and want to spend time with friends and family, and their kids interrupt them. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. They agreed to you getting those days off and they need to keep their word. Also, why aren't they spending time with their kids on Christmas unless they have work during those hours? What are you going to do from 3 to 9 on Christmas Day? Everything is closed and it's not even the right hours for dinner. There's literally nothing to do during that time but hang out with your family. Agree. It's also for sure not just their kids. She'll end up with a room full of all the cousins too, and the $50 will be magically enough compensation for that extra. The family is having a Christmas party and wants someone to entertain all the youngsters. Seriously? Oh, their kids are a distraction on Christmas? Geez, too bad. OP set out days and those days were agreed to. That $50 is disrespectful and they will try to saddle her with everyone's kids. Also, who are these other people who think you should do it? Are your friends joking? It's Christmas Day. That's not just a huge ask, it's ridiculous. If they see it as okay, maybe they could go do babysitting then.